All right, so your organization is finally active on social media and you're doing everything that you can to make a difference. But are you tracking your social media properly? Are you tracking at all? See, without measuring what's working and what's not, you could just be wasting your time, your energy, your efforts to engage with people. You can't continue to commit random acts of marketing and see real success or growth. You're gonna have to get strategic. So one of the main reasons why organizations don't track their social media progress is because they don't understand the jargon. It can be confusing for a lot of people. So today I wanted to take a few minutes and just look at some key performance indicators that I look at when I evaluate a nonprofit's social media accounts. I'm gonna give you just a high level overview of what they mean. By tracking these metrics, you're gonna be able to see what's resonating with your audience and what isn't, and then you can adjust your strategy so that you can have a bigger impact. Let's jump in. So if your nonprofit is looking to make an impact through digital marketing, it's important to understand the key metrics that you need to be tracking. These metrics are going to provide insight into the effectiveness of your social media strategy and really are going to help you identify areas that you need to improve. So here are some key metrics that I like to pay attention to and what they mean in plain English. Number one is reach. Reach is a simple but key metric used to measure the potential impact of a post or advertisement. It refers to the total number of people who have seen your content within a given time period, regardless of whether or not they've engaged with it. So this means that even if someone simply scrolled past your post without stopping to read it or like it or share it, they still are going to be counted in that total reach of that post. So for example, if your organization posts a message about a fundraising event on social media and that post is seen by 10,000 people, then the reach of that post is 10,000. Now this is an important metric to track, but it's also important to remember that it only represents the potential audience that your content has been put in front of, not the actual impact or engagement of that content. Number two is impressions. This is another important metric that's used to measure the potential reach of your post or your advertisement. Impressions refer to the total number of times that a piece of content has been displayed on a user's screen. Once again, regardless of whether or not they engaged with it or they even saw it. So to give an example again, let's say your nonprofit posts that same message on your Facebook page about an upcoming fundraising event. If that post was displayed on a user's screen 3 times during a given time period, let's say like a week, then the total number of impressions for that post is going to be 3. So just like reach, impression represents the potential reach of a post or an advertisement, but not necessarily the actual impact or engagement. Number 3 is engagement rate. Engagement rate is a key metric in social media marketing that's going to measure how well your organization's content is resonating with its audience. It's typically calculated as a percentage of the total number of people who have viewed your content and then engaged with it in some way, like liking, commenting, sharing, or clicking through to a link that you put in the post that leads to your website. So to provide an example, let's just say your organization was to post about that upcoming fundraising event on your social media pages, and the post received 1,000 views, and then 100 people liked it or commented on it, then the engagement rate for that post is going to be 10% because 10% of the total of viewers engaged with your content. So tracking engagement rate is important because it's going to provide insight into how well your organization's content is resonating with its audience. A high engagement rate can indicate that the content is well received and it's inspiring action or it's creating conversation among your viewers, but a low engagement rate, this is going to indicate that content is not resonating with the intended audience and it may need to be revised or improved or sometimes just flat out removed and never used again. Number 4 is amplification rate. So this is an important social media metric that measures effectiveness of your nonprofit's content in reaching a wider audience beyond your own followers. So this metric is calculated by dividing the total number of shares per post by the total number of followers and then multiplying it by 100 to get a percentage. So for example, if your nonprofit posted to Facebook and your post gets 50 shares and then you have 10,000 followers, well, your amplification rate is 0.5%. A high amplification rate means that your nonprofit's content is being shared widely and resonating with audiences beyond your own followers. So this is going to result in increased visibility, greater awareness of your nonprofit's mission, and potentially more support for your cause. So obviously, in contrast, a low amplification rate indicates that your nonprofit's content is not gaining traction beyond your immediate follower base. Number 5 is virality rate. This is similar to amplification rate in that it measures how much your content is being shared. However, virality rate calculates shares as a percentage of impressions rather than as a percentage of followers. So remember that every time someone shares your content, it's going to achieve a fresh set of impressions via their audience. So virality rate measures how your content is spreading exponentially. To calculate virality rate, divide your post's number of shares by its impressions. Multiply that by 100 and you get a virality rate as a percentage. So for example, if your nonprofit's Facebook post was seen by 5,000 people and it was shared 200 times, your virality rate for that post is 4%, meaning 4% of those who saw the post shared it with their own audience. So a high rate is going to indicate that your content is well received and highly shareable, leading to increased visibility and reach. A low rate is going to suggest that your content is not resonating with its intended audience and you may need to change something. Number 6 is audience growth rate. Now, this is a critical metric for your nonprofit to track as it measures the rate at which your social media audience is growing over a specific time period. So it's calculated by dividing the number of new followers or subscribers gained during that specific time period by the number of followers or subscribers at the beginning of that time period. And then you're expressing that again as a percentage to give you that rate. So for example, if your nonprofit's Instagram account, say, had 10,000 followers at the beginning of the month, and you gained 500 new followers during that month, the audience growth rate for that period would be 5%. A high audience growth rate can be an indicator that your nonprofit's social media strategy is effective in attracting and engaging new followers, which is going to lead to increased awareness and hopefully support for your mission. A low audience growth rate could very well indicate that your nonprofit needs to adjust your social media strategy to better resonate with your target audience. Number 7 is social referrals. So this is not technically a metric that you track on social media or any of the platforms, but it's still worth talking about. Social referrals measures the number of new supporters or donors who have been referred to your nonprofit through social media. So this metric is essential for measuring the effectiveness of your overall social media strategy across all of your platforms. And it's going to provide insight into the number of new supporters who have been introduced to your organization by someone in their social network. For example, a supporter may share your nonprofit's Facebook post about that upcoming fundraising event with their friends and family on their social media. And then one of those individuals clicks on the post and they decide to donate to your organization. That would be considered a social referral. You could also track this for all the different conversion events that you have. For example, you could have a social referral metric for each individual social media platform, and you probably should. But you could also track the different conversions like donations, volunteer forms, lead magnets downloaded, or really any other important trackable conversion on your website. By tracking this, your organization's going to better understand how effectively your social media strategy is attracting and engaging new supporters. Social referrals is one of the most important ways and powerful ways to attract new supporters because this comes with the endorsement of someone the individual knows and trusts. Overall, tracking social referrals metrics is going to help you understand how social media is contributing to your organization's overall growth and impact. And you can guide your future marketing strategy to better reach and engage with new audiences by looking at this metric. There are a lot more metrics that you can and probably should track, but these are just a few good ones to get you started and help your organization take the first step to being strategic with your social media efforts. If you haven't already, I hope that you'll start tracking these metrics and you'll see how your nonprofit's social media presence can make an even bigger impact in this broken world in the months and the years to come. from. As always, if you've enjoyed this content, I would appreciate it if you would hit the like and subscribe button below. I make this content with your organization in mind, and I want nothing more than to see your nonprofit change the world. I'll see you on the next one.